Hi, everybody. Tim Hughes here, and I'm with Oleg Konovalov, and we're going to be talking about his new book, Beyond Chaos: How to Create Clarity When Everything Else Falls Apart. Oleg, thank you so much for coming back on to talk about your new book. We loved your book about your trawler experiences, and I'm still seasick from that. Oleg, remind us where we can find details about you.
Tim, first of all, thank you very much for having me on your show. Of course, it's on my website, olegkonovalov.com. You could find me on LinkedIn. You could find me on YouTube, Oleg Konovalov Vision. And I'm fairly responsive, as you know.
Yes. And you're active on LinkedIn, and you have a fairly unique name. So I must admit, if people are searching for you and they can't find you, they're not really searching hard enough.
Yes. Actually, my wife was laughing another day. You made the bold to pronounce your name. Just like, that's a bit of a role.
Thank you. Right, Oleg. I really enjoyed the book.
Thank you.
And I really enjoyed it because I thought there's a lot of leadership books which can become quite cliched, but you've written a book about, so let me, because this is about you, but I'm going to explain something about the book. There's one scenario that you talk about, which is, so picture this: you're in Afghanistan, and you're in an army compound, and someone starts lobbing bombs over the wall. One of the bombs basically lands in an area where people have been hit and there are casualties. You are the commanding leader there. What do you do?
Act.
And that was like, oh my God, that is chaos.
It is.
How do you create clarity from that? And it was just such a great an example that resonated with me. So anyway, I don't want to dig into that one, but it's just one of those things like, yeah, if I was sitting there and someone what do you do? Do you sort out the wounded first? Do you, what things do you do? So tell us, what was the inspiration behind the book?
It's not about the book itself. It's about phenomenon that we are facing, all of us, every day, because chaos is a norm of today. We have so many changes, so we don't know. We're all frustrated. I'll tell you, I was recently leading a workshop for 15 very, very senior government executives, and only two of them have 3 or 4 priorities. The rest have multiple priorities. Because they have no priorities, they're in mess, they're in chaos. They don't know what to do. They are firefighters. So clarity, it's not about them. And we will face this issue on a greater scale. We're facing this in personal lives. We're facing it in military, in corporates, in small businesses, everywhere. Someone got divorced, someone lost a house, someone losing business, someone lost money, someone lost a job. Just a simple basic things. It sounds simple, but someone gets immediately into chaos. And that's an issue. But talking about, oh, it's negative, oh, it's bad issue, to fight it, I need to name that monster. I need to explain what's the nature of it. Then I would be able to outfight it. And what's the best remedy is clarity. Again, clarity, if I'll tell you, Tim, you must have a clarity. What clarity is? What kind of a substance it is? And this is where I came up with a framework. So this book was a journey into that dark hole, exploring it and getting back stronger out of it.
Because one of the things that I really liked about it was that I thought we were going to go down this track of, what we do is we meditate for 15 minutes a day and all of these things. And I thought, and you didn't go to that place. You went, so you went, we all have chaos, but this is how you find clarity. And this is your strength, because where everybody else is trying to work out how to deal with the chaos, as soon as you have clarity, this is your competitive advantage as an individual person.
Clarity is a superpower that we are
Yeah.
developing ourselves. This always an achievement. It's not given to us. But think of a difference. Someone who is in a very high position of a high status leader, we're thinking of that person as someone with a confident clarity. And an opposite example, if someone is always in struggle, always messing around, we could say that person with chaos in thinking, right? And so we all want to be there in that moment of confident clarity. But it's a moment how we're creating it, how we're structuring our mindset. It's not about our brain, but it's about mindset. How I'm commanding my brain to gain that clarity. That's
So,
important.
so you in the book you talk about chaos not as something to avoid, but something to actually understand and work through. How do you find, or how do you define chaos in business or a leadership context?
In a simple way, in a simple definition, it's inability to process ever-changing mental models. Because every day we must come up with something new and we can't process them. And it's in a excessive reactions to ever growing number of signals. If we react to everything, we can't process those things.
Mm.
We're in the dark, we're in a chaos.
And how do you your position of clarity is the antidote to chaos. What does true clarity look like in leadership, and how can leaders know when they've actually achieved it?
First of all, the higher your level, the more demand for clarity because you're dealing with the future, you know nothing. At a very low level, you have all instructions. More or less, you have almost a full clarity. In this sense, clarity is where to go and what to do. Exactly. And this is would get all people around it. Therefore, it becomes a shareable resource, leader's resource, which you share with your team. And they all know what to do, not messing around.
Yeah, I've seen when when we've been in recessions like in after 9/11 and things like that, that what leadership would do was actually their focus on disruption was basically to go to control, because control is a place where we if we're in control of the situation, we don't have chaos. So, but you argue for clarity instead. Why is control a trap, and how does clarity provide a better path forward?
Control, let's put it in a very simple way. Control is an expense. You're paying money for having things under control. You're wasting time, energy, but you can't control the outside world because those things like economical, social issues, wars, and everything happens without you being involved. You're a victim of it. Therefore, you're in control of yourself. And clarity is your ability to create the value in whatever the circumstances. This is where you stand firm as a leader, as a father of a house, right? In this sense, you're focused on creating value regardless of disruption.
So, so can you share with us like a framework from the book in terms of how we can move beyond chaos and look at clarity? So, in the situation of the you gave you give the example of the you're in Afghanistan, you're having bombs lobbed over the wall. Um, you've got people that are probably dead or wounded. What do you do?
First of all, think, pause, right? It's a model framework called PASSAT, and it's already been even clinically tested, and it works perfectly well. Pause, for intentional silence, because in silence, your thoughts would meet with solutions.
Right.
Right. Then you see abundance of opportunities. What's going on around, it's not a mess. It's a mess in your head, but opportunities are always there. You find those opportunities. What's the best solution you could provide? You must have a structured thinking, as this example about Afghanistan. You must be very structured. Do 1, 2, 3, 4. Defend position, save people, whatever, just like protect everything that you could have. Keep things, because structured thinking allows you to find inconsistencies. And because we could control consistency, but no one could control inconsistencies. And of course, it must be simple, because clarity is not about overcomplicating a mess. Chaos is a mess itself. Makes things simple, then they are executable. And of course, about being true to yourself. We're only humans. Forgive yourself for being a human, but be a true human. You could lose everything, but never lose yourself, regardless of that chaos. And of course, it's about thinking forward. Again, back to this case of Afghanistan, or someone who lost a house or went bust. It's not about what happens before. It's about what you could do for a future, for much greater future. And that's a moment where you need to stop thinking about the past. You would never get into the
You can't control the past, yeah.
No chance. But what you could create in the future is more important. Everything you do is about the future. And therefore, it's passat. Pause, see abundance of opportunities, structured thinking, simplicity, authenticity, and thinking forward.
Can you give us an example?
Yes. Martial arts, because I have a bit of experience of it from my early ages. Before every fight, breathe out, pause, focus on the things. See what kind of opportunities I have about someone I'm fighting against. Structured. 1, 2, 3. Make it a dance, not a fight. Simple. Don't try to implement some kind of a strange techniques that you hardly know, right? And of course, if you're strong, you are strong. If you're weak, don't play that game. Be the best version of yourself. And of course, think about winning rather than giving up before even the fight.
Yeah.
In real business, when we're losing something, and I have experience of losses myself, and the first was pause, breathe out. What have I lost? I lost something that I could regain. So it was nothing about me being in trouble. It was just something that I have lost. I was, okay, what else I can do? And I've developed a new school of visionary leadership.
Yep.
It was a big thing, right? So it was much greater than I have done anything before that time. Structure thinking. What you could do to make it really, really repeatable, transferable, shareable. Structure thinking. Simple. What I do is fairly simple. I help people to become the masters of the future. Am I true in this sense? Yes, I'm true to myself. I'm not wearing a mask. This is about what I love, and this is where my passion is. And it's all about thinking forward. It's not about regret or regrets. That's quite important. See, it's not about going to a psychotherapist and talking about your past. It's about you being better for tomorrow, even if you're in trouble now.
And that's about the clarity, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So when everything feels uncertain, communication often breaks down. What advice do you have for leaders trying to communicate clearly and build trust during turbulent times?
Uncertainty takes our agency away. So more or less, it makes us powerless.
Yeah.
In this sense, we see things as everything is impossible.
Okay.
But we tend to forget about simple things. What facts do we know? We tend to neglect the real facts. How much we lost or what we are losing, what we can do. So start looking at reality with a clear eyes. Stop blurring yourself with fear or making things worse in your imagination. Be real in terms of facts, because when you see the reality, you will bounce back or even bounce forward.
And I think it's about being having authenticity as well, isn't it?
It is. It is. It is. It's not about losing yourself. It's about building yourself.
Yeah. And nowadays people would expect to see some vulnerability. I know we always say to our team that my business partner and I, we don't have all the answers.
No, we don't know. We don't know many things, but you're building something on the things which you know, and you have like predictions. Okay, that's would work. Oh, I will try. Work it out. And that's where you're exploring that abundance of opportunities.
So how much of creating clarity is a mindset shift rather than a management strategy? And what inner work do leaders need to think about clearly amid chaos?
Chaos is not a verdict. It's an opportunity. Because you could rise like phoenix out of ashes. American Express was on the brink of bankruptcy. They're still standing strong. They get out of chaos. Simple example. Crocs, they were twice on the brink of bankruptcy. We're still wearing their shoes, right? So it's not a verdict. It's chaos separates strong minds from weak minds. It makes those who are strong will become out with clarity stronger. Those with weak mindset, they would lose to chaos. It's very interesting thing because it's a great filter for the best leaders.
So we've had a question from Dimitri, which says, so the important step is to describe the current state, right?
Oh, yes. And thank you, Dmitry, for this question, because the current state is awful. More than 76% of modern leaders have chaos in their thinking. It's difficult to come up with exact data. My predictions are a bit even rougher, but I would say 3/4 of today leaders have mess in their thinking. And what they're doing, they're communicating mess to their teams.
Yes.
And it's not just like one country. It's all over.
Dimitri, thank you so much for that. Great question. So you write that chaos can reveal what truly matters. Can you share an example where chaos became a catalyst for innovation or transformation?
Well, all of us, we're having a very, very simple bottles of water, those small drinking water on our tables or in the cars or when we go to a gym or just like for a walk. The idea of bottling simple drinking water came up to Pepsi in the midst of their crisis when they were dramatically losing their position in competition to Coke. And they came up with a simple idea. Why not to bottle drinking water? And people said, you're crazy. Because who would pay whatever, 79 cents for, you could get water from a tap for free,
yeah.
Right? But now this is a multi-billion industry.
With AI and global uncertainty and rapid change shaping today's world, what new leadership capabilities will be essential to thrive beyond chaos?
Ability to think, ability to be wise, ability to fail. AI wouldn't make decisions on my behalf. It's still about me. AI would not see those opportunities because opportunities are not sent to you by email, just like and wrapped into a nice box. You must explore those opportunities. So it's all about you.
I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, you know, AI has its place.
AI is only a tool.
I agree. Oleg, thank you so much for coming on and talking about your new book, Beyond the Chaos: How to Create Clarity When Everything Falls Apart. Really enjoyed it. I think there's a, you know, it's a great way of thinking about things from a clarity perspective. If I wanted to buy a copy, where can I get one from?
Available on Amazon through entire world, you know, from Japan to Brazil and from Canada to Australia. It's all over now.
And where can we find you?
LinkedIn. You could tap Dr. Oleg Konovalov, or you could go on my website, olegkonovalov.com, because I share different material, different information, different articles, or, you know, forums, so people could learn from it, not just like know about me.
And you need to check out Oleg's previous book, which is about being his experiences on a trawler and leadership. It's a great book as well. Oleg, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom. As soon as you had your new book out, I wanted to get you on and talk about it because I loved your last book as well. Thank you so much for coming on and